Hey YouTube, Dan Otto here, coming at you with my Halloween Cup team that got me from 2600 ELO to 2810, and then I stalled there and I tried a third Pokemon constantly, like 3 or 4 different iterations, could not move at a 2810, so then I switched the team up. But the duo is, I mentioned 2 Pokemon that you don't see a ton of, and really underrated for Halloween Cup. So Raticate and Toxicroak. Toxicroak is a beast because you have, first of all, Shadow T-Tar showed up everywhere, so a counter user to do that is great. You have some just pure darks in Umbreon and Scrafty, not a ton. And then you have a bunch of poisons, which are take super effective from Mud Bomb. And you are half poison, half fighting, so even if you do see a fairy, you're still only taking neutral. So it was a great answer. And then I put Raticate, because I've used Raticate multiple times in factions. And it is so tanky, like it's very tanky, and the quick attack buff helps you get to the crunch faster. If you have a return Raticate, that would be best. I would use a return over Hyper Beam. You can also use Hyper Fang. It just kind of does like a same energy as Crunch. Just doesn't hit hard. I'd rather just beam things, as you're going to see. So for the first one, which I did really well, I put in Charger Bug. And because Charger Bug, I'm running it with Volt Switch, or the Discharge, and Crunch, because you're kind of weak to flyers here, right? Mandibuzz can cause you a bit of trouble. Golbat's can cause you a little bit of trouble. You do pretty well, actually, against Raticate with it. But putting in an Electric was great here. So look at that. Sableye in the lead. They have really nothing to throw here. And then here, and Togepi's right, and you're kind of weak, not weak to it here, but like your Toxicroak gets super effective Mud Bombs, but doesn't do a ton. They just go Brine here. I was going to shield one up anyway, so I just decided I'll shield the first one. They bait, that's fine. And then a super effective Discharge here is not going to do nearly enough. So I'm going to need to throw a second, which means they're going to get another move off here in the ending. So if they want to take switch, they can. And that's just kind of like, and that's why I eventually switched to Galvantula. I'll show a matchup with Galvantula. Same sort of concept though. I think just Galvantula hits a bit harder than Charger Bug. Charger Bug has a little more bulkiness, but not in that scenario, did not help there. And then it has more coverage that you can just run the Crunch to hit for ghosts and stuff like that, as opposed to or neutral in the Gulch matchup with Galvantula is very tough because you have only resistant moves. But if you have the Crunch on your Charger Bug, you can at least throw neutral in that situation. So I'm going for the Hyper Beam here. They do not shield. Goodbye. Out comes the Sableye again. I will get at least one Crunch off. I think they have to throw the return because I'm dark, right? So a foul play is not going to take me out. Defense falls. That's huge. Do I shield the return, or do I just let this go and then try and just sweep with my... Yeah, let it go. I'll have one shield for thing, and I should be able to just counter and outpace with the Mud Bombs here. Shield up the one foul play for the win. So even like bad matchup, like this is single resisted because it's a ghost, but Toxicroak does not care, right? Super attack heavy, very glassy, so you got to kind of pair it with heavy Pokemon. Scizor, stay tuned potentially for tomorrow. Talk about rage building. So come in here, get me with the T-Tar, which I'm just going to get lit up here. There's not much I can do. But I can get off one move to kind of force a shield here, because Shadow T-Tar is pretty glassy, so I expect one shield here. Can I get to another move? Nope. But now I have Toxicroak, which should be able to just come in, get ahead on energy here. I may shield anyways. Yeah, even though it's going to be resisted, Toxicroak is glassy, and taking a Shadow Stone Edge from T-Tar is not something I want to do. So I get a bit ahead on energy to come in Scizor. I'm like, okay, they're coming in Scizor. Maybe they're double weak to fighting in the back, so I think Toxicroak may be my win condition here. But let's see how far they'd want to take this down. Now it's pretty low, so I think I can maybe win just with a Hyper Beam. I am going to shield in the ending. Okay. Get the attack rise, as we'll say. I think they're at 2 anyway, so it won't matter. They get the attack rise, which is annoying. But I think they're low enough that I can just quick attack down. They do not get a move off. What's in the back? It's another Drapion. It's a Shadow Drapion at that. We are beaming, and this is why I run Hyper Beam on it. Again, return would be fine if you have it, but Hyper Beam is beautiful. Goodbye. Love to see it. I had so much fun beaming. I beamed a couple. See, in the other match, I bailed right away. This one, I stayed in a little bit more. And they're throwing a move. I'll just take a move here. Right, it's pretty tanky, so it's going to take a few of those. Another attack boost. How many attack boosts my opponent's going to get? Come on. I'll tell you at the ending of this, when I show these teams in the other ones, I will go into my rant about how I actually rage built one of these, and I'll discuss. So it goes down. That's okay. I got a shield. At this point, I think I'm just going to come in Toxicroak. And again, Toxicroak with the shield advantage, not too bad. So they give up Switch. I'm going to have to just throw just to burn out the clock here, because I really don't want to take any more claws. And then I'm going to have to switch into my A-Rat. I know they have to throw a return, so I'm actually just probably going to shield and farm up a bit more, knowing that they have to throw the return, and then they're going to be dry on energy, and then they're not going to be able to do anything there. So I'm going to get to 2 crunches, which is great. One will take it out, and then I'll have a new move coming out for if the scissor comes back in or whatever else comes in here. And this is the power of the rat, right? Any ghost, you're in trouble. You're pretty tanky. These crunches hurt. Like, this will definitely one-shot from this range if they don't shield. So they do shield. I may shield back. Oh, they don't even get a move off because I got to another crunch. Goodbye. And they may... Oh, with Drapion in the back. I think I remember this. I'm like, I want to beam this, but it doesn't make sense when I have a Toxicroak with a shield advantage in the back. So I'm like, let me get to the beam. Let me get to the beam. I'm like, I'm going to beam this anyways, even though it does not matter because I can quite easily just go Toxicroak, counter Mud Bomb for the win. But we are being greedy. We're beaming to a 5-0 here. Oh, come on. Just take your medicine. Anyways, 5-0 got me... Like I said, I pushed like 200 ELO with this team, and I really thought this team was going to take me all the way. 2 things happened. 1, Chargebug was sort of the weakling on the team. I think the Toxicroak Raticate is a great combo for this meta, right? Because your Raticate's weak to Fairy and Fighter, and Toxicroak can take care of the Fighter, and then Toxicroak is weak to Flyer, and Raticate can deal with that. And then has a counter for Steel, stuff like that. So a great combo. Chargebug, which is kind of like a neutral safe swap. Well, actually, one I haven't even put in here, which I can just, I guess I'll add it right now in case anyone's coming in later, is I also used Drapion as a safe swap for this team. And so my thought process behind all these safe swaps I'll just kind of throw up the second one. I've got a few battles coming out here. So one was Galvantula, was just like, Chargebug is a bit glassy. Not glassy. Galvantula is way glassier, but it hits way harder. And I'd rather actually have the lunge for all the darks that you're going to see in here. Right? So I put in that in this situation, because knowing that's like a decent safe swap too. Chargebug is an okay safe swap, and like Galvantula is like one of the better safe swaps. And then I probably got to shield this up. The problem with having a Galvantula in the back was... So they come in Drapion, which is fine, because I'm going to get multiple moves off here. Just go straight discharge. Probably should have just gone lunge to lower their attack. And I catch on the... Okay, good catch. So the problem with Galvantula is I ended up getting walled by Dragalge, which started showing up anywhere. And the second problem with this team was fairies. For some reason, you wouldn't think that a ton of people would run fairies with all the poisons out there. But I ran into, in a set of 10, I ran into 8 out of 10 teams that had 1 fairy, and 2 out of those teams were running double fairy in the back. And this team just cannot deal with double fairy. So then I tried Nidoqueen, and I tried Drapion as the safe swaps / answers to all the fairies. And the problem with this team was exactly this, is that with Nidoqueen in the back, you need to draw out the Wormadam Trash, because they are everywhere. So you need to draw it out, and then your Nidoqueen can hopefully run in the back with whatever's there. And it worked okay in some situations. Like this situation, I think is a win, because I draw it out. I'm able to take this out, and then I'll have a Nidoqueen to sweep in the back. So it works in some scenarios. And they come in T-Tar, so that's fine, because now I just wall this. Probably going to have to shield, because if it's a crunch, it's going to do a ton. And just farm all the way down. I'll have a move coming out for whatever comes in, and then loaded Shadow Nidoqueen is fine. Wormadam Trash, I will take this out right away, because I do not want to take any confusions here. So goodbye Wormadam Trash. What do you have in the back? You got a Dragalge in the back, and this is a good answer for Dragalge, right? Good answer for the fairies, good answer for the Dragalge. And that's why I also used Drapion, because it was the same sort of thing. Good answers for Fairy and decent for Dragulge. And then one time I'm like, if I was going to use a Fairy, I'm going to use a Fairy. So I put in Wigglytuff. I hate using Fairies. I hate using Charmers. They are very, very, very annoying to run. You get walled way too easy. I think one time, like I won a couple matches when you can just like stand here. I got a 2-shield advantage. Toxicroak can come in. They do launch a Dragon Pulse, which is rough. Now I got a shield, a Poison Fang here. But I'll have a move coming out. I'm hoping that they don't have anything else in the back that's poison. But here we go. Again, Drapion is half dark, so this isn't terrible. Because I will be able to still hit neutral here. But the problem is, like, there's a lot of poisons in this. So, again, if the opponent doesn't have if the opponent does not have a, poison on their team or doesn't have, like, a hard steal on their team, then yes, you can run Fairy. But I just found, for the most part, my opponents did have all that. So the Wigglytuff did not really work for me. Cancel that right away. And then I'm at about 2,800-ish when I went against a couple Scizors. And I'm like, Scizor is... one of my buddies uses it in factions, and I've seen it in action before. And I'm like, Scizor is, like, so glassy, but man, does it pack a punch. So I started with Scizor. I think I put Scizor on this team as a 6 option. I'm like, that doesn't work. And then I reworked it to another team and to another team. And that second team, I went 5-0 to get to 2880. And then I went 2-3 in the last one. So I'm 2865 right now. So when I'm filming this, I'm 2865, done my set for the day. I will have minimum, I'm shooting this on Monday. So I will have minimum Tuesday, Wednesday to run this team to try and hit Legend. If I hit Legend, I will show you that Thursday morning, before I do the teams and stuff for the Ultra Halloween Cup on Thursday. So if I don't hit Legend, I'll just do the Halloween Cup teams Thursday morning. For Ultra League, if I do hit Legend, I will show you that Legend team Thursday morning and then the Ultra League Halloween Cup teams in the afternoon. So that is it. I love Halloween Cup. I'm great at team building Halloween Cups. So if you go back, my last year's Halloween Cup team got me from 2565 to Legend in 4 sets. Something crazy. No, that doesn't make sense. It was something crazy in 4 days, maybe. Yeah, maybe 4 days makes more sense. And that was, I can't run it now because of both Nidoqueen and what's the Togepex, but it was Azumarill, Marowak, and Dragulge, and that team was great there. And now, same thing, I'm up 250, 300 ELO in like 4 days of Halloween Cup. So Halloween Cup has always been good to me. I really like this meta. It's got enough flexibility to do a crazy amount of teams, trying different Pokemon, but it also has good... it's also limited enough that you can still predict teams, right? Because there's only so many Pokemon that can be used, so you can read teams easier. So that is it. Hope Halloween Cup is going well for you, and hopefully we hit Legend soon. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.